Well, welcome to Algebra 2. This is the online version of the class I've been teaching for, who knows, years and years at Stick. My name is Tony Silvestri, and I'm going to go over basically for the benefit of people that haven't taken a Blackboard course before. I'm going to go over all the important links that you're going to probably need to navigate this course. Right now we're on the welcome, and this is my faculty contact information that you might want to jot down if you have a problem with the class. And for sure, what you're going to need to do to use this class is you're going to have access to MyMathLab, and that's a Pearson Publishers program where you do all your math online on their website. Everything that you do gets graded, and it's not a bad system actually. The only thing that what you need to do is make sure that you link your Blackboard account. Right now we're in front of Blackboard. You have to link it to the MyMathLab account. So the way you do that is you can follow the instructions given here, but basically what those instructions tell you is you go to Tools, and then you go to Pearson, MyLab, and Mastery, and you click on that. And then you're going to click one of these three elements here, MyLab Math All Assignments. Now, if I click it, you're going to see something different because I'm the instructor. But basically what will happen is this. You click that MyLab Math All Assignments. It takes you to a screen that asks you what account you want to use. Do you want to link to? Now, if you take an Algebra 1 here at Stick, you already have, and you've used the MyMathLab system, you already have an account. Make sure you use the same exact account that you used in Algebra 1, because then the system will know you've taken it in Algebra 1. It's the same book, and you can just immediately go into Algebra 2 without having to pay anything. If you're new, then you need to create a new account. It's a typical thing that you do in every website. You add your name, your email address. Make sure you use the Stick email address that you're given when you register, and then they're going to take you to a screen that says, well, geez, how are you going to pay for this MyMathLab? And so there's a couple of options, actually three options that you'll probably see. One is enter an access code, and that's the access code is something you get from the bookstore. You go to the bookstore, you pay to get the access code, and unfortunately, it's more expensive when you use the bookstore. But a lot of people need to use the bookstore for financial aid reasons. Another option is to just buy it outright through PayPal or through a credit card. And then there's a third option that's shown on that page that tells you to get temporary access for 2 weeks. And then with that temporary access, you can still do all the homework assignments and stuff. After those 2 weeks, they're gonna force you to have to enter some sort of payment for using their MyMathLab. So that's the first thing you need. You need to link up your Blackboard to MyMathLab Pearson, and once that's done, what you do next is you go to course content here, and course content basically describes the course that you're witnessing. Now there's 30 units. I divided everything into 30 basic units. A unit is basically a homework assignment or a quiz or an exam. Okay. Now let's say the first unit. The first unit is typical. Every unit pretty much looks the same, where I describe what you should be learning in this unit. If you want to do some reading, a lot of people like to read some math, I know. You can go and follow these instructions. You go to the MyMathLab. Let me click on that. You go to MyMathLab, and then there's a multimedia library where you can pick, say, Chapter 6, Section 6.1, multimedia textbook, video lectures, whatever. And you could take a look at what they have there. Okay, I'll let you take a look at that. Play with it. But then I made a video for every unit actually every homework unit. That's basically what I do in a normal lecture class. You know how the old days you went to class, you listened to the professor talk for an hour, and then you went to do the homework. Well, I'm trying to mimic that here online. This is a lecture that I typically give on greatest common factoring. So I give you my spiel on the stuff. They also give you lectures here in Multimedia Library, but I think I've been teaching it long enough to know the ins and outs of what's going on with this class and maybe help you out a little bit. Now, each of these lectures basically goes over the homework. So I go and go over 6-1 homework. I do problem 1, problem 2, problem whatever. And I basically it's as if you were doing the homework as well. I don't have a problem doing that because the problems I get are going to be different from the problems you get because you'll have different numbers, different wording. I don't have a problem basically going over the homework and showing you how to do the homework. So follow along with what I do, and you should be fine. Okay. Once you're ready to do this, you go to factoring polynomials. Let's see. Go to Pearson factoring polynomials. And it takes you right to the homework assignment, question 1 to question 15 for that homework assignment. And that's how you do it. Okay. Now, in a separate video, I'm going to discuss the discussion boards. What I think is pretty neat with this online course in Blackboard is that they give you the ability to talk to one another in terms of how do you solve a certain problem, talk in general to, any problems that you have in math. I'm going to reserve that in a separate video on how to do discussion boards properly. But I encourage everyone here to get together, talk about how to do it. If you get stuck, talk to one another. Post a question on this particular discussion board, and hopefully you guys will all get together and help each other out. If that doesn't work, you can always email me, and I'll be happy to help you out as well. Okay. So that's what you do. So let's go back to course content. The course content, don't go in the order in which these units are presented. Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3. Don't skip any units. Okay, don't do Unit 5 until you take the quiz before it. It's all logically oriented. You should be able to follow along. Once you get to Unit 8, Unit 8 is basically a test on all the homework you did prior to that. It's really straightforward. Really, really straightforward. So do that. Also, what happens next is that's course content you'll interact with a lot. Course information is something that is just general information that students need to know about this class, like the syllabus. You see the syllabus here. There's a couple of other links I'll let you take a look at. I'm not going to discuss them, but there's also a unit due date that you should adhere to. Okay, it's very easy to blow off math and not do it for a couple 3 days, and then all of a sudden you're way behind. Now, for people that are watching this video, say in the fall or next spring, these dates are meaningless. This video was made for summer session 2, 2020. But if I use this course again in the fall, you'll have the appropriate dates listed. So, for instance, in this case, so that you don't fall behind, after section 6.1 should be done July 7th. Section 6.2 should be done by July 8th. There's no hard and fast date times. I'm not going to force you to. I'm not going to deduct any points or do any of that kind of stuff if you're late and doing the homework. Okay. You're already going to be under a lot of stress trying to get all this stuff done by August 6th. So I'm not going to put any other stress on you. Okay, but you need to make sure that, if you did blow off the course for 3 days and you come back on say July 15th, okay, you better have done all these homeworks all at once before you take exam 1, July 15th. So make sure you stay on time with the stuff. And if you follow the schedule, you should be good to go with the course itself. So make sure you take a look at that. Okay, so what else is there in this section? Well, there's a bunch of links to MyMathLab. This is what the book looks like, and then there's some free textbooks prepared by another professor at STIC that you might want to download for free if that's what you need to do. Okay, so let's take a look at the syllabus. I think we need to talk about the syllabus next. And so the syllabus is your straightforward syllabus. The only thing that's required is that you get the access kit, the MyMathLab access kit. Again, if you've taken this course before in Algebra 1, you'll need to link to your old Algebra 1 Pearson account. If you're new, then you're going to have to create an account and you're going to have to buy that access kit. If you can't remember your old account, which that's shame on you, you should always remember these things or jot them down someplace. You're going to need to contact Pearson and convince them that you're the person, what account you had last semester or the year or the last year. Otherwise, you're going to have to pay for this again, and that's a real shame. I don't want you to have to pay for this. In fact, there's nothing I can do about the Pearson stuff. I can't help you with that. That's something between you and Pearson, and they're going to have to help you with that. Okay, and so let's see. Course description. Basically, what I want you to do is make sure you log in every day. You have to log in every day to see what happens with this course. I'm going to post some whenever possible. I'm going to post some announcements about the class. I'm going to post them here, and I think if I create a new announcement, you're going to see it in your email. So you should be able to know that when something is changing. But in terms of grading, everything gets graded in this class. Homework, quizzes, midterm exams. There's 3 midterm exams. There's 1 final. Those are the percentages that you see here. Okay, homework and quizzes, you can do as many times as you want. If you get a 60 the first time, you take it again. You can do a 70. The 70 takes precedence. It gets entered in the system. Exams, same way. For exams, you only have a maximum of 5 takes. But again, that's all you really need. The greatest score on all your takes gets entered in the system. Now, here's the deal. The grade that I use that I enter into the web advisor at the end of the semester is the grade that's found in the MyMathLab course, not the grades that you see here. The grade that you see here is Blackboard grades. Don't look at that. Look at the grades that are in your Pearson MyMathLab. Those give you an accurate representation of what you'll get. And another thing that you should do is understand that the grade that they give you in MyMathLab is the grade of all the things that you've done, so that you've actually completed. You need to make sure that say you were supposed to have completed 10 things, exams and homework and quizzes. Say there was 10 things, but you only did 2 of them. Say in those 2 of them you had 90s. Your average would be a 90 reported, but that's not the average that I put into Web Advisor, because what happens about the other 8 with the other 8 things? I have to zero those out, and certainly 8 zeros compared to your 90 is going to bring it down to a failing grade. Okay, again, MyMathLab only tells you the grade of all the things that you've done, not all the things you should do by a certain date, because MyMathLab doesn't know that. What the dates are due, when things are due. It only knows at the end of the semester when things, when this course is done. Does it know the accurate representation of your grade? So every week, to give you an accurate representation, I zero out all the things that you should have done for the week. That'll bring your grade down a lot. But don't fret, not a problem. If you go back and do the homework that you didn't do the quiz that you didn't do, or you did the exam that you didn't do, if you get a 90, 100, that's the grade that overwrites the 0, and that poor grade immediately jumps back up to a good grade. So make sure you understand that. And then there's disability services. Should you need to avail yourself of those services, this is who you call. And that's basically it. For the rest of it is just telling you what the course is all about. That's it. I think that's a fairly good introduction to the course. I will see you in another introductory video on discussion boards. And good luck to you on this course. Bye.